In the hidden depths of our oceans, a silent war rages beneath the surface, a high-stakes clash between the United States and China. Instead of traditional weapons, this battle is waged through the unseen threads of colossal undersea fiber-optic cables, spanning thousands of miles. Originating as a massive private contract, these cables hold the pulse of our digital world, safeguarding over 95% of global data. In the Asia-Pacific theater, nations maneuver for control over this undersea lifeline, where the flow of information becomes the battleground for economic and military supremacy. A secret struggle unfolds, shaping the destiny of nations in the digital era. Introduction. Our tale begins with a colossal private contract awarded to American subsea cable company Subcom LLC for laying a $600 million cable spanning 12,000 miles from Asia to Europe, via Africa and the Middle East. This project slipped through China's grasp as a Chinese company, HMN Technologies Co. Ltd., was initially selected to manufacture and lay the cable in 2020. However, the US government, concerned about potential Chinese spying on critical communication cables, initiated a successful campaign to flip the contract to Subcom. This marked one of at least 6 instances where the US government blocked HMN Tech from securing undersea cable deals or rerouted projects that would directly link US and Chinese territories. The concern lies in the vulnerability of undersea cables to sabotage attacks and espionage. Spy agencies can tap into cables landing on their territory, turning undersea cables into what experts call a surveillance goldmine. Amidst rising geopolitical tensions between the US and China, these cables have become a battleground for technological supremacy and intelligence gathering. To oust HMN Tech from the Submarine 6 project, the US government used a combination of incentives and warnings. The US Trade and Development Agency offered training grants totaling $3.8 million to telecom companies in countries along the cable's route if they chose Subcom as the supplier. Simultaneously, American diplomats warned foreign telecom carriers that Washington planned to impose crippling sanctions on HMN Tech. Global ramifications. This Submarine 6 battle is just one piece of a broader effort by the US government to counter China's rise in various technological domains. The US-China rivalry extends beyond economic competition, touching on military dominance and global influence. At the center of this aggressive US strategy is Team Telecom, a 3-year-old interagency task force focused on safeguarding US telecommunication networks. Team Telecom works in coordination with various departments, including the National Security Division of the Department of Justice, to influence cable licensing recommendations to the Federal Communications Commission. The undersea cable industry, historically relying on diplomatic collaboration, now faces unprecedented geopolitical influence. Companies like HMN Tech, once on the rise, are seeing a slowdown in their projects due to US interventions. The tit-for-tat maneuvers have created a ripple effect, with China also impeding cables in which US tech giants like Meta are investors. This power struggle is threatening to overwhelm the subsea cable industry, which has always relied on careful diplomatic collaboration to survive. Paul McCann, a Sydney-based subsea cable consultant, notes, "I've never seen such geopolitical influence over subsea cables in the 40-odd years I've been involved in the business. It's unprecedented." The Submarine 6 battle and similar interventions are part of a broader effort to curb China's influence as Beijing strives to become the world's dominant producer of advanced technologies. China is strengthening its military arsenal with sophisticated armaments, while also countering US influence through trade, weapons, and infrastructure deals that draw wide swaths of the globe into its orbit. US-China relations. The US-China relationship is currently at its lowest point in decades. The two countries have clashed on numerous issues, including China's support for Russia's invasion of Ukraine, its crackdown on Hong Kong, and the future of Taiwan. This tension has spilled into various domains, including technology, as the US seeks to isolate China's high-tech sector and keep cutting-edge US innovation out of Chinese hands. In February, the United States shot down a Chinese spy balloon that floated into American airspace. China claimed it was a weather balloon, accusing the Americans of overreacting. President Joe Biden's policies are increasingly isolating China's high-tech sector, aiming to bring some technology manufacturing back to America while limiting China's access to advanced US innovation. This geopolitical tug-of-war has significant consequences for cable companies. Historically, three companies dominated the construction and laying of fiber-optic subsea cables: America's Subcom, Japan's NEC Corporation, and France's Alcatel Submarine Networks. However, in 2008, Huawei Marine Networks Co. Ltd. entered the scene, owned by Chinese telecom giant Huawei Technologies. Fast forward 15 years, and the firm, now known as HMN Tech, has become the world's fastest-growing manufacturer and layer of subsea cables. Still, the company's short history has been shaped by deteriorating US-China relations. In 2019, Huawei Technologies faced backlash from the US government, leading to a ban on Huawei and its affiliates from buying parts and components from US companies without government approval. Huawei Technologies divested its stake in Huawei Marine in 2020, and the cable-laying company rebranded as HMN Tech under new Chinese ownership. The decision-making process for the CME 6 project involved a consortium of more than a dozen companies funding the cable. There was a split in the group, with China Telecom, China Mobile, and China Unicom supporting HMN Tech due to its competitive bid of around $500 million. However, concerns were raised by Microsoft, Orange, and India's Bharti Airtel regarding the potential US pushback on HMN Tech's involvement. On a series of video calls in mid-2020, the consortium members verbally agreed that HMN Tech would build the cable, with Subcom as a reserve. US ambassadors in at least 6 countries, including Singapore, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, wrote letters to local telecom carriers participating in the consortium, urging them to choose Subcom. These letters emphasized the risk of potential US sanctions against HMN Tech, a move deemed as an attempt to influence the decision discreetly. Team Telecom played a crucial role in influencing the CME 6 decision. Team Telecom, an interagency committee led by the Department of Justice, was formed in 2020 to review telecom transactions involving foreign entities. Although its primary focus is on national security concerns, its influence has expanded to include shaping international cable projects. The US strategy proved successful as major players in the consortium shifted their support from HMN Tech to Subcom. China Telecom and China Mobile withdrew from the project, fearing the repercussions of their association with the now US-backed Subcom. This move underscored China's sensitivity to its company's global reputation and the impact of geopolitical tensions on their business operations. China, in response, criticized the US intervention as an unfair and coercive attempt to undermine a legitimate business deal. The Chinese government accused the US of interfering in the free market and violating international trade rules. This incident added fuel to the ongoing US-China trade tensions, which have been escalating on various fronts. The CME 6 battle is emblematic of a broader trend, where undersea cables are becoming strategic assets in geopolitical competition. Governments are increasingly viewing these critical communication arteries as tools for enhancing national security and influence. This shift has led to a more assertive posture by major powers in shaping the global undersea cable landscape. The CME 6 saga has sent shockwaves through the undersea cable industry, prompting companies to reevaluate their strategies and partnerships. The once assumed diplomatic collaboration has given way to a new era of geopolitical considerations, impacting not only cable manufacturers, but also the tech giants investing in these projects. In response to the CME 6 incident, China has taken measures to safeguard its interests in the undersea cable industry. The Chinese government has increased its scrutiny of projects involving foreign companies, especially those with US investments. This reciprocal approach threatens to further fragment the global undersea cable network, creating separate spheres of influence. Conclusion: the concern over undersea cables extends beyond economic competition to national security. As the world becomes more digitally connected, the potential for espionage and sabotage through these cables grows. The CME 6 battle underscores the fears of governments regarding the vulnerability of their critical infrastructure to foreign interference. As the dust settles on the CME 6 controversy, the broader implications for the undersea cable industry and global communications remain uncertain. The battle for dominance beneath the waves reflects the shifting sands of geopolitics, where information is not only power, but a weapon. Outrow, Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the hidden world of undersea cables. If you found this exploration intriguing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating stories. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the untold tales that shape our world.